allow you to do
Shit
the
got
honors
wild.
Feywild.
We fucked 8 bitches.
Wait,
All
nobody
of
told
them.
me about that part of the story.
You weren't in that
you
part of the story.
You weren't paying enough attention.
Oh.
So, the party entered Northcrest, and I forget the dude's name. I didn't write it down. Elf boy, decided to fuck off. He left. He said he was gonna get us to Northcrest, and then he left. The guy that owned the airship. Tywin, that's his name. He told us that he was leaving once he dropped us off, so he bailed while we stayed in Northcrest, and we took Riz's body to attempt to be resurrected, by somebody that Mjolnir said he knew that might be able to do it, but
body machine broke.
we had no luck. Body was too dead. So we decided to leave the body with the mortician, and the party headed to the nearest tavern for some food, drink, and some rest. And upon waking, we all split for supplies and different info on how to get to District 1 to meet up with Felix. And we got what we needed. We got some weapons, armor, and ended up finding out how to get up there. And we got up there, and upon reaching District 1, the party was retrieved by an advisor of Felix, who escorted us to him. And then Felix informed us that he called us to use us essentially as mercenaries to collect powerful artifacts from across the realm, to keep out of the hands of somebody named Beirut, I think is how you pronounce it.
Beirut, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Who's essentially a powerful demigod that is trying to gather these for malicious intent.
As they're like Horcruxes.
Yeah. Aurelius happily signed up just because of he had the promise of honor, glory, and being called a hero.
Combat!
Gildroy agreed to sign up for research, in quotes. Elowyn reluctantly agreed after pressing Felix to let her keep an artifact, but had no luck breaking him. And then Felix offered us assistance in the shape of a dwarven high priest with knowledge of the different planes.
What's up?
That is Rap's new character.
Gregor Jadebrew.
Yes, I did not write that, but Gregor. Where was I? The party decided to take a few nights to rest and prepare for the journey, and Felix gave the party 1,000 gold each for different preparations. So we stayed the night in the inn that we first slept in when we entered Northcrest, and then we met back up with Felix, and were transported to the Fey realm via a spell casted by Gregor to find our first artifact, the World Hammer, and that is it.
Sling ring, bitches.
Sling ring. Yeah. So, like how I explained at the end of the last session, as you step through this sort of like watery portal, passing through it, the air around you just kind of goes still in mute for a second as you come upon this mountainside. Is essentially where this spell gate leads you to. As you begin to set foot on the actual grass and begin to kind of balance yourselves and get a foothold of where you're at currently, little orbs of light dance around amongst the sunset. And as you can see, looking behind you is basically a mountain range. You're kind of like on the edge of a mountain range, and looking out over the horizon, the sunset kind of sitting directly in front of you. Vast plains in front. You can see a small town kind of at the bottom of the ridgeline, and then a great expanse of water, what seems to possibly be a lake. You can see it kind of curve around to the left and right, so it's not an ocean really, but more like just a giant lake.
Like a great lake, you could say.
Like a great lake, you could say. But you immediately notice that this plain, however you want to call it, is feels almost as if you're 20 or 30 pounds lighter. Just the general sense you get is not so much as a worrying, but more so of like a curiosity. The colors around you, like I said, the orbs, the sunset giving off this bluish, pinkish, purplish color, along with the warm colors you got like yellow and orange in there as well. Gregor, your knowledge so far where you guys had just stepped out is
Sorry.
You're good.
1 second.
You're somewhat knowledgeable about where you guys are. You know of like the various mountain ranges right there, and then several towns, and you know this lake as one of the most predominant lakes. I guess I should say the biggest lake in the Feywild, the known Feywild.
That has been explored anyway.
Yes.
Because shit's dangerous.
But yeah. So
should I do a plains? Because I don't know. Do I remember the name of the lake, or perhaps this town that's next to it?
Not so much the town next to it. However, you do recognize the lake as Lake Revia, one of the most predominant lakes that kind of etches along and turns into a river that kind of goes to the coastline of the known Feywild. So,
do I know how close that is to the City of Glass?
So the City of Glass, you have heard it before in your past. However, it doesn't ring a bell as to a particular location in the Feywild, which leads you to believe that possibly it could be a code word, or perhaps something along those lines for
like a common name, like how Chicago is like the Windy City or something like that.
Something along those lines.
Or it moves. Which, in the Feywild, not the most drastic thing, really, probably.
So I'm guessing you guys are gonna head towards the nearest town. I mean, currently what's around you is just these giant, large kind of cypress trees and
nature.
Just this, basically this scenery. Forms of life are not really kind of in your field of view as you look about, but you can hear kind of like the birds singing and some underbrush kind of moving about all around you, but you can't particularly pinpoint it. So there is life amongst you, but as far as mostly what you're seeing is just scenery. Approach it however you like.
I'm gonna keep. Let me check something. 1 second. Could I do a knowledge nature check to see if I recognize any of these funky plants? Or do you want me to do plants for that one? Just while we're walking towards the town.
Good,
because I do know that there are much more uncommon plants that grow in the Feywild.
Sure. Knowledge planes. Do a knowledge planes. 11. You're just doing
that...
you're doing a general kind of what kind of plants are around me, correct?
Like as we're walking towards the town.
Okay.
Yeah, like see if I recognize anything that I would know that would be exceptionally rare.
Making your way towards the town below in the valley, there's nothing that you come upon that's particularly rare or out of the ordinary. Just mainly, I guess you could say, the trees here are much like the trees on the Prime Material Plane. However, there's little characteristics about them that makes them Feywild-like, such as...
Like some of them are blue.
They have like a purplish tint. They also grow a lot faster than Prime Material Plane trees. Exceptionally faster, and they last a lot longer. But other than that, as far as, I guess, flora and fauna, like that's the extent of your knowledge currently.
Shout out to the fact that I rolled a 2. for the first roll of the session.
Yeah. So, marching your way into the town. It's not like boarded up or anything. Like there's no wall. It's just kind of like this open village. It's not as big as a normal city or town. I'd say it's probably got like a small residential area and maybe like a town like its center where they would have like markets and such.
Markets.
Buildings created, I mean, obviously by wood, not so much stone. There's not a lot of stonework here, and the ones you do see are probably people of a higher class that would be able to kind of work with stone.
Basic, is that you?
He's watching a video.
Nick.
Nick, you
What?
there?
Sorry, my mic is being weird.
Yeah, we were hearing a video you were playing.
Shouldn't be.
Okay.
We
Anyway.
did
Anyway, what's yes?
Okay. Anyway, moving on.
the
Jesus
session's
Christ.
going great so far.
Yeah, so
boys.
far it's amazing.
I've just been listening to the description of the Feywilds. Essentially, is what we're talking about.
All right. Regardless of whatever that was, we'll move on. So, yes, making your way into the town. It's very rustic. Not so much anything really particular weird about it. However, the makeup of this town, which you can see, is mostly human, elf, a lot of elves, and these sort of they're about gnome-sized creatures with wings that are kind of hovering about 3 to 5 feet above the ground, and you were noticing they're just kind of gliding along, not particularly walking,
Yeah.
but indeed flying.
Okay.
Going about their business, a couple of them kind of give you guys strange looks, knowing that you're not really from around here. Very obviously, you're standing out.
Do I recognize what they are?
What are?
The flying imp.
So
Happen.
yeah, the flying creatures are basically just a fey creature of sorts. Maybe like just a particular race or whatever that would be obscure to the Feywild and only Feywild.
Fascinating.
They speak common, and maybe like a racial language, and they're fairly friendly. Not dumb by any means. It is a race of individuals. So
This is nothing like back where we're from, though.
no, absolutely not.
In terms of creatures.
Even as you walk, it almost seems like you're gliding across the grass, and the grass is almost making way for you, as if intelligent.
Interesting.
The general feeling, like I said, itself is
Yeah.
a weight lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah, like we're lighter. You said, right?
Lighter, like relaxed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it feels like nature is like intelligent, right?
There's no loud noises. It's very calm, cool, and collected. Essentially, people going about their business and such, and like I said, giving you looks very obviously because you look very different.
Yeah.
So Gilderoy, in no particular deciding order, it just goes up to just one of the Fae flying by. It just goes, gets a closer look to inspect them, maybe a little bit up in their face, almost.
Okay, I mean, you come up to the nearest male Fae creature, and he's just kind of gliding along. He's wearing very nature-like rags, essentially, of green and brown, and he just kind of gives you a look as he just kind of keeps on flying by, unless you literally stand in his.
I don't stand in his way. I just get get a closer look.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you're just kind of looking.
Gildroid, don't bother them. If you want to ask questions, use your words.
Give me 2 seconds.
Can't I just look upon them?
It's often found quite disrespectful, Gildroid, to stare at people. Come on.
Isn't it a thing that beggars do to just stare?
Sorry about that. Wife's at work. So
GM,
yes.
uh, are is it obvious that these creatures are like sexually diverse? Like, can I tell a male from a female?
Yeah. I would say so. Yes.
Okay. Uh, I walk up to a guy. I don't want to be disrespectful and fuck up, call it a her.
You're walking up to a fake creature.
Yeah, just one of them floating nearby.
Okay. What do you say? He's going by right now.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I'm sorry. As you can tell, we're probably not from around here. Do you happen to know anything about the City of Glass?
I'm sorry. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I must be on my way. As he walks off, or flies off, I should say.
You know, guys, the best place in a town to gather info is
Bah.
always the tavern.
Huzzah!
I'm gonna go look for like a tavern.
All right, looking around, kind of following the general path of the town leads you to a bigger, wide open area with several wells in a circle around the center of the town. Coming to a larger building that you can see a couple.
Basic.
It's Nick.
I got my mic
No,
muted.
no, it's my ringtone. I muted it.
Damn it, Nick.
Coming to a much larger structure, you can tell is some sort of not necessarily inn, but maybe like a gathering place. You don't really see any sort of structures large enough to be a hotel or inn.
Well, that makes sense.
Do that
They probably don't really travel very much.
This is true. But coming to the place that you guys would normally see as a tavern, walking into the building, it's not very, I should say, crowded. There's a few kind of individuals in there, and much of the same races, like I said, a couple humans, a few elves, and maybe like a couple fey creatures. Behind the bar, you got a tall, blonde, elven male, kind of procuring glasses from under the table and taking them in the bag, and then coming out, taking orders, and things of that such.
Okay.
Go to the barkeep. To the bar.
Yeah, make my way up to the bar.
Sitting upon the stools, there's only about one or two other individuals along the barkeep with you guys, and sitting on the end, they kind of give you a look up and down, and then glance back at their food and their drink.
Give them a nod.
Yeah, you give them a nod, and they don't have any sort of malintention towards you guys, it seems, but just kind of gave you a glance. As the other man comes from around the barkeep, puts a couple glasses in the cupboard below, walks over to you guys, puts an elbow on the table, and kind of gives you a nod, and is ready to take your order.
I'll take a glass of whatever you suggest, and we were looking for some information.
Oh yeah, information about what?
Are you aware of a place called the City of Glass?
Christ. The City of Glass. Can't say I've ever heard of it. Who are you with?
What do you mean?
Well, this is Gilderoy.
I'm gonna cut him off before he introduces any more of us. What do you mean?
We aren't the first ones to come in here and talk about the City of Glass. We've probably had 3 people in the last 2 weeks, prime material planers like yourself. I'm just wondering what the big fuss is about in the Feywild.
We're looking for something in particular.
Yeah, we were told to find the place, and not really how.
How long have you been in this town?
Not very.
10 minutes.
Well, let me be the first to say welcome to Essence. And I will definitely get you your ale, wine.
Whatever you suggest.
Ale.
All right.
I
And,
suppose I'll have wine.
I can
I
whip.
slide him 5 GP.
Okay. He takes the gold in the palm of his hand, scoots it back towards himself, makes a little scribble on his notepad, looks up at you guys again. So you say with nobody, correct?
Oh, there are some others. Are they here, Ryan?
Are other party members?
They're
They're,
there, but you can tell he's not meaning.
He means, who do we work for?
Yes.
Do I know if he knows anyone on this plane?
What do you mean?
So do you want to know the name of his firstborn?
No, do I know if my boy, my dragonborn man, knows anybody in the Feywild?
Oh.
You may have heard brief names in the past. No. Like I said, you may have heard names in the past, but you can't quite pinpoint them currently. He's just kind of sitting there, finishing up his scribble, continuing to await answer from you guys.
Marcus,
Yes.
what do you think?
What do you mean?
I mean, what do you think about the question?
We're looking for the City of Glass. That's it.
Are you
He
on
asked.
your own, or
With
I
Marcus.
know what he asked.
do you work
Yes,
for
we're-
somebody? I'm just curious. You're not the first
Go
ones
ahead
to
and
come in.
Go ahead and just tell them the name of our employer.
Have you heard of a man named Felix?
A man named Felix. Can't say I have.
Well, that's our boss. His name's Felix.
Does he procure other adventurers such as yourself?
Yeah. Probably the same people you were talking about.
Possibly.
No clue, though.
Well,
Did
I sure
they
do
come-
hope you guys are
did
better
they
than
come
the
to this
last.
town too?
A couple days ago, inquiring about this city of glass. I knew nothing about it. Started a ruckus with one of my patrons and stormed out. Hopefully, you'll
Really?
be the opposite.
Right after coming into town?
Pretty much. I have no idea how long they were in the town, but
That's rude.
they were definitely not from here. Let me go get you your drinks.
Thank you.
I shall return.
Thanks.
Kind of makes his way.
I'm gonna lean over to you two. We don't know exactly who's speaking the truth, so maybe we should just blurt out what side we're on.
Well, that's why I
everyone and
wasn't very
everyone.
specific.
You gave a name.
Names are common. Names have no power.
If the enemy knows the first name of the man they're trying to stop, that's enough. So maybe we should not.
Well, Gildroy thought it was a good idea. You didn't voice your opinion after I
I-
asked you.
I did.
I don't suppose a simple barkeep would be maligned in any fashion towards us.
That's not necessarily true. It's possible, just unlikely.
Everyone has eyes and ears.
Yeah. Networks connect many places.
After a couple minutes, the man comes back with your drinks. Sufficiently paid for by the 5 GP. He took that into account. Sets
The
you,
rest was the tip.
sit-
I don't want anything back.
alright. Sets your drinks down. And I gives you guys another look and continues on with the rest of his job.
Excuse me, do you have any food?
Yes, absolutely. Give me one quick second. Let me go get the menu. Alright.
Are you looking up food stuff?
Yeah, dude. Trying to get this generator work, but general
It's gonna be like some Willy Wonka shit.
no. General like mead with particular meat, pork, chicken. Very plain menu. It's not really anything high class or anything. But any sort of meal will definitely kind of give you a pick me up and get your, I guess, bellies full for anywhere else you'd like to go. I guess.
I want to order something that's made with stuff that's like Feywild exclusive.
Okay. Generally, they don't like to kill animals unless maybe for population control.
I wasn't expecting really meat. I like fruit.
Well,
So
Salad.
a salad.
no, I mean there's meat. There's definitely meat, just not very I guess requested. We'll say we'll procure you a particular, I guess, animal from the countryside up in the mountains, which
Goat.
it's
Fake
guile,
goat.
it's guile beast meat.
I'm going to, while I'm eating my meal, I'm going to write notes about how I think it tastes.
Okay. Sitting there for perhaps a few minutes later, were anybody else getting food or anything?
Oh, also,
I'll order something
what
basic, yeah.
what drink did he give me?
He just gave you like a Feywild sort of dark ale, kind of sweet, as if fruity, but also very heavy and thick. But as you guys kind of begin to pass the time with this environment, several minutes goes by until Aurelius, you feel the tap of a long, lanky finger behind your shoulder. As you turn,
Rep, how did you get yourself into the game?
I still look out the corner of my eye.
as you turn around, an old, kind of frivolous male individual is behind you, perhaps probably 60 or 70, as he looks up at you. Did you say the city of glass? I'm sorry for eavesdropping, but as I was walking by earlier, I thought I heard that name.
You did.
A couple other folks came in here a few weeks ago asking about that. I had only heard the name, but 30 or 40 years ago. Very old name, that is.
Interesting.
I'm sorry if they caused you any trouble.
No, it's perfectly fine. It was just a young woman. Very insistent on this place, but like I said, I had only heard it 30 or 40 years ago. I referenced her to a Maester Nym. He's used to be in Faerun, but he had just recently moved to Stenwolf. So that's where I had sent that person. I am assuming you know.
I know where those places are.
You do not. East. East from here.
Okay, I don't know their exact position. I know that they're east of here, though.
As he goes on, I'm assuming you know her or work with her. She insisted that she had business to attend to.
Do I know her?
You do not.
Yes.
You do not know her, Raptor. As a matter of fact, Felix hasn't enlisted the help of any particular individuals in the last couple months.
Oh shit.
Where did
Well,
you say you sent her?
If you would have told me that one, Ryan, I wouldn't have been so quick to throw the name out.
Doesn't time pass quickly though in the
Oh,
Feywild,
shit, yeah, you're
or
right.
it can change rather?
It depends. It can either go fast or slow. It just kind of depends on when you get
But
back to
that
the.
has to do with leaving,
No,
right? Not entering.
no, like, well, when you enter, it kind of like, it's almost randomized. So you won't know how much time has passed until you get back to the prime material plane.
No, but like, I'm saying, since he hadn't enlisted anyone in the last couple months, it wouldn't make sense for them to have been a few weeks, like 2 weeks ago. Like, it doesn't, like, when you enter the plane, it's not random how long till you enter. So it's not like if you enter 2 months ago, then you're there 2 weeks later.
Raptor.
I'm lost.
When you enter the Feywild, time, it can either go faster or slower. You don't know until you get back to the prime material plane how much time has passed. So yes, he hasn't enlisted the help in the last few months, which means on any sort of time scale in the Feywild, no matter if it was really elongated, it would have. I mean, it had to be really fucking far stretched. That this time frame, it doesn't make sense essentially. So whoever this woman is,
It wasn't from
it
Felix.
wasn't from Felix.
Yeah, that was my point. Like if I would have known that didn't make sense, I wouldn't have said the name.
It's fine. It's not.
He's just a barkeep. It's all good.
Okay.
But
He's not showing any malintention or like any sort of trying to poke you for information, if you know what I mean. But
I'm
Nick,
going to ask where he. Yeah, where did he say?
okay. I sent her to a Maester Nym, Nym. He's fairly old now. He's an old colleague of mine. He resides in the village of Stenwolf, the east, along the river fjord. I believe the last time I had spoken to him was 15 years ago. He had mentioned he was doing some research on a particular city. He called it the City of Glass.
Okay.
Perhaps
What was the name
Perhaps
of the
it's a
town again
ruin.
that Maester Nym was in?
Stenwolf. Stenwulf.
Marcus.
Yes.
Perhaps it's no longer a city.
What?
It might be a ruin at this point.
Oh, you mean the City of Glass?
Yeah.
I apologize for taking up some of your time. I just wanted to give my information out there because I like to help when I can.
No, I do.
Thank you.
We appreciate your assistance.
Maester Nym is a good colleague of mine. Just tell him
talk
Royland.
with
Tell him Royland sent you. If he asks any questions, he'll help you out.
Okay. Thank you.
Royland, thank you. And I passed him a gold piece. Buy yourself a drink.
Babe, you get 1,000 gold. You just think you're fucking.
Well, dude,
He's the gold.
we
not
need
the-
information, and I don't know where the fuck we're going.
Okay.
He gave it out though. Why would you pay the man after he gave it out?
Gregor's just a good dude. Okay. I mean, he takes the gold piece and puts it in his little pouch and bids you farewell and walks off down the barkeep and orders a drink and so that was Royland.
We should probably get on this.
Okay, how is this meat? Is this like guile? Is it like a ham hock?
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I don't know what a ham hock is, but it's got the consistency.
mutton.
It's got the consistency and thickness of like a chicken, like you're eating chicken, but
Tastes like chicken.
It's more like a porkish steak.
I'm gonna go get a drink real quick.
All right.
What Raptor is trying to say it's a ham hock. So basically, it's a pig that can fly.
Interesting.
Now,
Oh, like a
a
piece
hock
of
of
mutton,
ham.
like on a
So
bone or something.
yeah.
Because if it was on a bone, I was gonna take it with me and like eat it while we were walking through town.
I mean, you could totally do that. Yes, there is. It's handheld, but it wouldn't be odd for you to kind of carry around a breast of a guile beast. So it is.
Yeah,
It's possible.
I'll do that.
As you kind of procure your things to get ready to go, the half-elven male, kind of as he's cleaning up the barkeep, kind of gestures to you guys for a moment. And he says, "Any of you looking for a map? I know a guy who could help you out."
Yeah, didn't really think about that one, but that's really probably a good idea.
Well, anybody coming in from the prime material plane or the Shadowfell, even, we get some of those around here.
Yeah, I know a little bit, but definitely not enough to navigate.
Well, I am no cartographer, but in the village of Nilthorn, just a few miles south, probably about a day's travel, half day's travel, there's a few of them over there, in the southeastern part of the library, in town. They could help you out, if you don't already have one.
Nope.
Oh. Looks like you've enjoyed your stay here. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Okay, I'm back.
Not right now. We may return in the future, though. And I look forward to it.
Sounds swell. And welcome to the Feywild. And welcome to the town of Essence.
Was that the barkeep?
Day.
Yes.
Okay.
Good day.
So, anyways,
We need to go south, go get a map, then about a day's travel, maybe a day and a half.
Map is quite important.
I was at the closest like map maker.
yeah,
Yes.
the is a cartographer in the village of Nilthorn. I'm about to turn on my fan.
Because I know a lot, Marcus, but I have absolutely no fucking idea where we're going.
So the extent of your knowledge, Raptor, is south could only mean like essentially following the lake down. So if you were to follow the lake down, you would hit another town, whether that's Nilthorn
So
or
it's
not.
also on the lake.
Yes.
All we have to do is follow the lake down,
So,
and we should make it to the town 5.
when we arrived here, it was sunset, correct?
Yes.
So we should probably stay the night here, and then in the morning head off.
It is still sunset in the Feywild.
Yes. As you kind of get the sense that maybe an hour or two has went by, looking up in the sky, the sun still hasn't set below the horizon. It's still in a static sunset.
There isn't really a day-night cycle here, is there, Ryan?
Not in this part of the Feywild.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention, sun doesn't really set around here.
Okay, how about are we tired or because we really just woke up and got here, so
Yeah.
so we shouldn't be too exhausted or anything.
No. Yeah, you guys aren't exhausted or anything. Going through the portal is, spared no. It didn't exhaust a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Walking down to the town may have been a little bit tiring, but after refreshing yourselves with the ale and food, you're pretty much good to go to travel. About
I say we head out.
I suppose since we have as much as we do, why not rent a horse? Or maybe even a wagon.
it's a good idea. That would probably cut your time down about a quarter.
Yeah.
There's almost no guarantee that there would actually be a true path.
A what?
Like, there's almost no guarantee in the Feywild that there would be a consistent path from this town.
There it is.
There you go.
There it is.
I was just
DM says so, man.
God
You can't
says
really
there
beat
is.
that.
I was just assuming they would have gone there by boat instead.
Depends on the person, honestly. But yeah, there's consistent paths to towns and cities and stuff like that. Main paths. There's not a whole lot of off the grid paths. But there is if you want to get to point A to point A, from A to B, there is routes you could take. Not
I
completely.
say we get going. See if we can find a horse or two.
Or something. A beast of burden. A beast.
Gildro's gonna go look around, look for carriage surfaces.
Okay. Coming to the sort of southeastern part of the city, you see some kind of smaller stables with a couple horse and carriages, some of which are owned by particular individuals. However, bodies are just kind of walking around this area. Gesturing to a man that you see inquiring about a stable keeper, a stable master, he kind of points you off into the direction to the west, where there's this kind of small structure sitting. Within it is a small, around 5'5" human male, kind of doing the upkeep of this structure, essentially just tidying up. As people are kind of walking to and fro from the town of Essence.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. How can I help you? What's your name?
I'm here. My name's Gildroy.
Gildroy,
and
nice to meet you. My name is Till.
Yes, I'm here to inquire about carriage services.
Carriage services. You would like to buy a horse?
What? Rent.
How much would one cost me?
Rent.
What was that, Gregor?
Rent.
Oh, we don't rent here.
Just a horse.
We buy. I can't rent you a horse. How are you gonna bring it back?
By bringing the horse back.
How much are your horses, sir?
Kind of sits back, looking from you, Gregor, now to Aurelius. Because the thought of purchasing a horse piques his interest more than renting. He looks at you, Aurelius. 300 gold. You can keep it. It's yours.
How about, do you offer just carriage rides from town to town?
I mean, I guess.
What's the name of the town?
The town that you're currently in?
The one we're going to.
Oh, Nilthorn.
Would you?
How much would a ride to Nilthorn be?
300 gold.
How would you mind if I take a look at your stock?
I guess. Just right around the corner here. I got 5 or 6.
I just want to see them.
Peering around the corner, you can see these fully grown adult horses who are just kind of, some of them are kind of feeding off to the side, and others kind of tail swinging, looking around. No particular sort of attitude on them currently.
They look well kept.
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
Gildroy just kind of has a little a flash of inspiration come across his face, and he kind of wanders off.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask him.
Marcus.
Hang on.
Gilroy
so you said-
walked away.
You said 300 gold. Is there any way you'd be willing to bring it down a little bit? And I'm gonna kind of like puff myself up, make myself look a little bigger, do like a subtle intimidation.
Roll an intimidation check.
Okay.
What?
How you doing there, brother?
Why wouldn't you just use diplomacy?
21.
21. Okay, another 16. As he kind of looks up at
I will
you,
intimidate you.
the shadow over him kind of grows slightly larger as you kind of bring more air into your chest, and shoulders now stout. I mean, I'm 250.
Well, that's fine.
Each.
I'm just buying one,
Oh.
so
Well,
I'm gonna pay
I
for
was
mine.
assuming we were just going to take the ride.
No. Your friend wants to buy a horse. Let him buy a horse.
I want to buy a horse.
He kind of like peers out from the structure and is looking at over his horses. He goes, that fat one, you'll fit on him.
Which one does it?
Behind sort of like this veil of horses, you see a particular kind of stout
He's the
horse.
big boy.
Not unhealthy
He's the
particularly, just a
big
little bit more
boy.
bulky.
Like muscly, or is it like?
Fat as fuck.
It's not fat, it's not muscle. This horse has a dad bod.
Oh god.
Fucking dad.
I'm gonna try and like look at a horse that seems a little more aesthetically pleasing.
All right,
A little bit.
as you eye one of the horses kind of more near towards you, the horse, or one of the horses I should say, kind of looks at you, and you can almost read a slight sense of worry in its face, as the horse kind of looks at you and then to the male individual in the structure that you have been speaking to, and then back at you, Aurelius.
I mean, I'm not that heavy. I'm only 170 pounds.
You're fat.
I look down at the dwarf.
Oh, it's not a dwarf.
No,
No,
I'm
I
talking
am.
about my dwarf.
Oh,
The one that just called me fat. When I'm pretty sure all dwarves are like required to wear a keg.
Chronically obese.
He said it first.
listen, you want to buy a horse? 250 gold. That's my final offer.
Yeah, no.
So,
Yeah.
Is that that one horse back there? Can I not choose my horse?
I love my horses very much, and if I saw you, you know what? Just try one on.
Okay.
Try on a horse, just put it on like a coat. You see, the horses here, you don't ride them, they ride you.
Coming upon to a horse of your choosing, Nick, you begin to kind of saddle him up a little bit. It only takes a couple seconds, and up on top of him. Before you hop on top of him, make a handle animal check.
Okay. Skills. Ah.
How bad
Now-
you fuck up.
I would like you to make a ride check. I just want you guys to know, in the history of D&D, I think this might be our first ride check
First ever ride
in
check.
RP Dude's history. 15.
No.
Jumping
Somebody
on top
played
of.
a Cavalier before.
Oh yeah, maybe. You're probably right.
I think me.
Hopping on top of the horse, Nick. The horse definitely isn't warming up to you as much as you'd like. You've got a good, I guess, place on top of him. Mainly, you think probably because you're a little heavy, and the horse isn't kind of moving around too much. But the horse doesn't.
Firmly
The
mounted.
horse doesn't really send you any sort of positive signals. Not negative either, but it's indifferent. It's like how the hell did I end up here, and why am I doing this?
You're a horse, that's why.
I'm just imagining every creature we encounter is sentient. So this horse is looking at Mark, and he's just like, really?
Just call him Mark.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
I'm
Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
The 5'5" human begins to exit the small structure and kind of walk over to the area, only about 20 feet away to where you're on this horse.
Mhm.
And he's just kind of looking you up and down, not like disappointingly, but like, okay,
Perfect time to be a horse thief.
yeah, you're making it work, but
Do you have something slightly smaller?
How much do you weigh, Gregor?
I weigh 162 pounds, and I'm 4'6".
Yeah, that dude weighs 8 pounds lighter than me.
A
I'm
whole 8
also
pounds.
like a foot and a half shorter than you.
That literally doesn't matter. It's still weight.
I'm pretty sure you also have more
I
more
need a
equipment.
shorter horse.
I'm sorry, but the only pony I ever procured was for my wife, not for a dwarf. This is what I
You didn't
have.
say pony. Smaller. Do you have a riding ram?
I have a dog in my house if you'd like to ride him.
I would kill it.
Is bestiality welcome
gonna-
to Feywild, I wonder?
I'm gonna hop off this one. Do you mind if I tried to see if any of the other horses warm up to me a little better than this one did?
Sure. Make 3
Okay.
handle animal checks.
Neat. Okay.
Nat 1, Nat 1, Nat 2.
Gregor, this man is just kind of looking at you like, what you gonna do, man?
Literally none of them were better.
Okay, you gonna fight me? Huh?
All right. Well.
I'm gonna get into a fight with a horse.
So, Nick, going
Yes.
up to all the horses that you that are kind of in the vicinity, every single one is kind of giving off this same sort of worried vibe, and when you kind of step over, the horse kind of looks away, and by now you're down to 2 horses.
The really fat one.
The dad bod one, and a particularly
Sick.
no. It's there's a black horse there, and it's much like the others. However, these last 2 are probably your best bet on perhaps acquiring a better relationship.
Okay. I'll handle animal the black one.
Okay.
Infinitely.
Wow.
better.
I don't know why, but I always feel the constant need to make racial jokes, even when it's not appropriate.
The African horse.
Easily tamed.
Coming over to this black stallion, immediately kind of you have this connection eye to eye with this animal, and you begin to feel as if you can communicate with it in a way, only on a very maybe basic scale.
Yeah.
However, your emotions communicating in your mind are kind of swelling in this horse in a way that like it can read you and you can read it. Go ahead and make a ride check if you would like to mount this
Let's
horse.
see. Ah.
I was thinking 6.
Ah,
Okay. It's kind of bucking around, but it's trying to get used to it. To you being on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
The connection that you had with this horse is helping out.
Helping.
So overall, not a bad horse.
Okay.
Worth 250 gold pieces.
Yeah, we can work on riding together.
Okay.
As long as it doesn't beat me.
See
So I'll take.
this-
I look over to him and I'll take this one.
250 gold.
I count out 250 gold for him.
No. I count it.
I'm going to count it as well.
Okay.
I don't want to give you too much because I know that I won't get that back.
Hand on his hip, tapping his foot, eagerly, patiently, waiting.
I'm gonna go look at this
Look at this. What? Raptor, get better internet.
dad bod horse.
I didn't hear that last part.
All right. Gregor walking over to this, not sickly or unhealthy. He's a perfectly healthy horse. He's just got a little bit of chunk on him. Kind of looking at you.
He's a chunky boy.
Kind of looking at you. Just sniffs a little bit as you walk up to it.
Does it burp in his face?
No, but it does let out this kind of weird throat sound, like a sound. Not any sort of like it doesn't like you, or it's just kind of like
disconcerting. Just disconcerting.
if a horse
it
could
made diabetes
squint and
noises.
look at you, he was squinting and looking at you. I don't think this horse has
Okay,
seen very
let's
many
try and
dwarfs,
handle
especially in the
it.
Let me
Feywild.
ask you if you want to learn how to ride a bike.
Let's try and handle this horse.
All right, handle animal. 15.
Hey.
Gregor, as you appear to kind of try to establish some sort of relationship with this horse, peering into its eyes, stroking its mane. It looks over at you, and as you guys lock eyes, you hear a voice in your head. You? Is that you?
Oh no.
What?
What? What?
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Aurelius, as you look over at Gregor, he just has the blankest look, mouth open, as if he's staring into the soul of this horse.
Did it insult your mother?
I don't answer. I'm just like.
Gregor, in the back of your mind, you hear this sort of low growl turning into, I guess, more of a voice. And the voice says, My name's Kenny. Kenny? Kenny? Yeah. Yes. My name's Kenny.
Hi, Kenny.
You can hear me.
I'm Gregor.
Are you sure there wasn't anything that you had slipped in your ale?
Oh
I
my
have to
god.
be here I'm purchasing this horse.
And eventually the voice kind of fades into obscurity as this connection is very weak. However, that just happened.
I am.
The male individual tapping his foot, hand on his side, just kind of, come on, I ain't got all day.
Here. Money.
Did you just throw money at him, or like?
Here's 20,000 gold. Separate 250.
Like an entire. No. I quickly counted out using my dwarven instinct to quickly count this.
Using my dwarven abacus.
As you're counting out the coin, Gregor, Aurelius, you kind of toss him this sack full of 250 gold and immediately tears it open. It's not flying anywhere. He's just kind of like got it in the palm of his hand. He's just,
counting super fast.
Counting super fast as best as he can. Kind of like stops for a second, looks over at his other horses, counts again.
Does the man not drink coffee?
Wraps it up.
No, he does more than coffee.
Wraps it up. Throws it to the structure. It's about like 15 feet away, and it kind of pops to the side. Turns over at you, Gregor. You. 250 gold? You're buying?
Yeah.
I talked it down for everybody.
Gilderoy.
I'm just like stacking the money on the table.
You.
Like
So-
super fast.
So what Giltroy's wandering off for initially, he was looking for like a cart or something like that, so that way he doesn't have to bother with buying a horse. He could just buy a cheap cart and then sit on that while somebody else rides a horse that the said cart is attached to.
Well,
No
two
worries.
horses.
Is dad bod horse? There are one horse carts.
There
Yeah,
are
but now
one-horse
there's a
carts.
2-horse car.
Oh, carts.
Well, I want a
No.
one-horse cart.
One horse carts,
Fucking
carts,
bad.
carts. I dabble in horses. Go talk to Gary across the street. He could get you cart.
All
Get your
right.
cart.
Giljoy just kind of stumbles over to the other side. He just kind of eyes around for like the general area where he points towards, and just goes up to a random person like, "Excuse me, are you Gary?"
So,
Literally just a random guy.
Just a random guy. Now,
Are you-
go
are
to,
you
go
Gary?
to a man who looks like
Gary,
he's
who
in
the
charge.
fuck are you? But okay, going across the street, there's another smaller kind of like structure, more horse and carriages, kind of about 3 or 5 over on the side. As you come to another short male individual, kind of over there, which we could probably assume is someone who would be in control over everything, possibly Gary, but someone who's in charge. Walking over there, he immediately notices you, as there's not really that many people around the structure itself, but more so around their carriages. Coming up, he just kind of looks up and squints straight in your direction. From what you can tell, is kind of eyeing your armor and your clothes, immediately recognizing that you are not from the Feywild.
Excuse me, sir. You wouldn't happen to be, by chance, Gary, would you?
Gary? Who told you my name? Who are you?
The gentleman from across the street who's selling horses.
Huh?
As he peers from around you, kind of eyeing the other small human male. What are you talking about? Henry?
Henry, yeah,
That man right over there.
Yeah, I look over to where he's pointing. I'm, reaffirm.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. Oh, yeah, okay. What would you like? What would you like again?
I'm looking for a one-horse cart.
One horse cart. Looking to buy?
Yes.
Kind of thinks for about a moment. That depends. There's very different make and models. Would you like a cheap one or more stylized for your comfort?
Show me what you have in stock.
Alrighty,
Coming out from behind the structure, he kind of takes you over the more southern part of the village. As you kind of look out, you see Henry across the way kind of counting that change, Aurelius on this black stallion, and Gregor peering into the eyes of this dad bod horse. Taking you
I'm
around.
just imagining, like, men who stare at goats sort of shit.
Pretty much.
but you got the right amount.
He takes you to about 3 carriages, 2 of which are very similar in make. One, on the other hand, however, is definitely a lot bigger, but probably the max size for a one-horse carriage.
That's fine. I appreciate it. Alright.
This is what I have in stock.
Sorry, I'm back. We're cold.
What would be the value of either of these pieces?
Cat, what is your
Well,
problem?
the small one goes for 500 gold, and the larger one goes for about 1,800.
Gilderoy takes a careful look at the small one. How big is it exactly?
We could fit 4 people in it. 5, maybe, if you can get it.
The last one's laying on the floor.
Yeah, I'd say 5. I'd say about 5 max. 5 max for sure.
Gilderoy, knowing he said he was asking for a cart, but he's getting a carriage, he decides to start thumbing through his gold.
Okay.
Yeah, cart is open. Carriage.
Yeah, you don't really normally see any like beat up carts essentially around this parts. But yeah.
So
Only got that fancy shit.
Gilderoy carefully counts through all of his gold, hands him over 500, and let's see here. Is there any I'm outside of the town right now, correct? Gilderoy's outside of the town.
You guys are on the
Go
outskirts of
together.
the town.
All right. Gilderoy waves over Marcus.
Yes.
And you see him kind of along the way, counting out gold, Nick, from across the way, and you see him hand this fairly large sack of gold to this small male individual.
You buy a cart?
You guys are probably about 50 feet or so away. You just see Gilderoy gesture towards you.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I go to him with my new horse.
All right, make another ride check.
Ah. I was just gonna walk alongside him, but let's do this.
Oh, okay.
Let's
I
see.
want to do a ride check for Kenny.
Are you guys in the Feywild?
Ah,
Yes.
it's not getting better.
So
It didn't sound like it. Shit.
No, we're in a town in the Feywild right now, so things are fairly tame as far as
Okay.
yeah, as far as things are going.
We haven't gotten fucked over yet.
Well, as far as things are going, meanwhile, Rap is having
a
a soul to
heart-to-heart
soul,
with
a soul to soul moment with this weird ass dad bod horse.
yeah.
Nick Kenny.
So when you went into the Feywild, was it just like you were near the town already?
Well,
Yeah,
we'll get into
yeah.
we'll get into that. You can watch the session or
Yeah,
What-
we'll recap it for you towards the end, perhaps.
So Nick, with a right check of with a 2,
4.
overall 4,
No,
yes.
it's +2, so it'll be 6.
I think it's already +2. It's 2
Yeah, it's already
plus 2 is 4.
Oh, you're right. So yeah, it's 4.
The horse is not moving.
I'm gonna hop off and try to
Fuck
just
you.
pull him.
Gilderoy impatiently just keeps
Pull him
on
along
waving
with.
you.
Like, I'm not gonna try and like drag him, but I'm just gonna try and get him to,
Oh, yeah.
to walk alongside me.
Yeah,
then.
I mean he walks with
I'm-
you, but
Okay, we'll just
I'm
do
gonna
that.
show
for now.
off and ride Kenny past
make a
Marcus.
ride check, Gregor, if you're gonna saddle up the horse.
Huzzah!
Cat
Welcome
body
to the group of
No!
Doods who
No.
do not ride
Well, you can't
horses.
make 2 ride checks, you fucker. That
So-
tally does not
so
count.
bug- Fucking-
Ride check.
Fucking Gregor is just like slightly riding better, but it's still shitty as fuck.
Well-
Like,
Well, you
I
gave
was
Nick
considering
2
I
ride
wasn't
checks.
moving at all. When did he give me 2 ride checks?
No, it gave fucking Gregor 2 ride checks. I don't know why.
rap
Yeah, he did not give
fucking
me
roll
2.
gave-
twice.
You said
basically.
when Nick first saddled the horse, ride check. And then,
Yeah, and then when I tried to
you
leave,
walked over to him, a ride check.
So
that doesn't mean you get 2 in a row, Rap.
no. So basically,
Those are 2
what
separate
I was
situations.
what I was like, you didn't have to make 2 because you had this connection with this horse, and it was like you guys were understanding each other. So he was more like, okay, you're gonna be riding me now. So like, all right. So you didn't have to make the initial ride check,
Oh, okay.
but it is still a 5. So as you hop on this
I'm sorry, Kenny. I've never
You're
ridden
gonna
a
be
horse
riding
before.
me now, and he was just like, okay.
this
What
slight
the
voice
fuck?
in the back of your mind is like, we're going forward, right?
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, Ryan.
yeah, we're going over there. I point towards the other people
Can
across
Kenny's
the street.
can Kenny's voice be Gilbert Godfrey?
Oh my god. You're gonna have to like wait till next session.
Yes.
Yo, rap! No, I can't really do anything crazy.
Got it.
You're going forward, right?
We're moving forward.
And next minute.
Thanks, Kenny. And
You're
that is
welcome.
Maine.
I'll just do that voice. I can't do fucking Gilbert Godfrey.
Ah, fuck.
I give him an apple.
Alright. He eats
You
it
just had
whole.
an apple.
You just had an apple.
Yes.
You give him some rations. We'll just say you had an apple.
Does
Fuck
he,
it.
does he make that weird noise afterwards too?
Yes.
Oh,
Just
on.
like.
The real question is like,
I love this sounds.
this is the best session so far.
All right.
Session number 1.
So yeah, I walk over to Gilderoy with the horse.
Alright, Gregor, you're riding. Like I said, he's about 50 feet away. Go ahead, Gilderoy.
All right, go ahead. Get it all set up, and Gilderoy just enters. I'm assuming it's a carriage, correct?
Yes.
Yes, he enters the carriage, and then
I'm almost crying.
I feel like your horse would be a little better suited.
so is Ryan
To
just
pull
gonna
this.
practice in the mirror like Gilbert Gottfried impressions till like next week? Like Kelly's
we
just
got-
like walking by, like he's in the bathroom. Oh, where is the towel? Like he's doing the whole like
Ke-
Gilbert.
Where
Kelly's
is the
like-
towel?
Kelly's like, Ryan, what are you doing? I'm like, sorry, I gotta get my Gilbert Godfrey impression down so I can play this horse in D&D. Don't worry about it. Leave me
Oh,
be.
shit. Wait,
Fuck,
Kenny.
it's a horse? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a horse.
Yeah,
It's a horse.
Kenny's
It's
a
a
horse.
chunky horse. It's like if a horse had a dad bod, this is that
It's
horse.
cause it's cause the Feywild, right? Like it's all
Yeah.
weird and shit. Yeah.
It's just one horse.
It's just one horse, yeah.
My horse was normal. It was just black.
Kenny,
Yes.
I'm I'm tempted to make more racist
I
moves,
gotta-
but I shouldn't.
give me a second. I'm gonna buy you some food. Hey, Henry, can I buy some horse food?
Sure. I'll throw in some for free. How about that?
Woohoo! Do you sell saddlebags?
Saddlebag. Is that just something to throw your saddle in?
No.
the
nope.
saddlebags on the sides of the horse. And
It's
So
hold
bags-
basically a
bags that
backpack
hang
for your
off the
horse.
saddles.
Okay.
Yeah, horse backpack.
You could probably procure some from him for 25 gold apiece. They're fairly good.
Okay.
They can hold a good amount.
Like some food
Yeah.
for the horse.
Yes. For Kenny.
I'll spend 50
Okay. Get him on both sides.
and get one for each side.
Hey,
and I just want to shout out the fact that I have 420 GP.
Elowin,
Yeah.
you had the option to buy a horse for 250 gold.
Oh.
Do keep in mind I bought a one-horse carriage that fits up to 4, maybe 5 people.
But Aurelius also bought a horse for whatever he would need.
Okay.
So-
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
I
have
think
2
I'm
horses
gonna
and a
ride in the. I think I'm gonna ride in the carriage. Yeah, it doesn't seem necessary. Yeah.
The question is, how are we gonna take this carriage back with us?
Portal.
I'm just
Yeah,
imagining
portal.
we get a portal back into that one room, so we
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
in that one.
I mean, like, it's
I'm
possible.
assuming-
Fuck.
I'm assuming I can portal us anywhere. So I don't have to portal us back inside the room.
You can only portal to places that you know, so technically, yes.
But I mean, I could like portal outside of the building as opposed to being
Yes.
in the room.
yeah, of course.
Okay.
Let's do it in the elevator.
As a matter of fact, Gilderoy, Gary is able to procure some servants to kind of help you guys out with attaching the horse.
I also, Ryan, I would also like to procure some food in the bags.
Okay, yeah. Henry kind of throws that in the horse stable keeper. He throws that in. Were you getting saddlebags as well?
Yeah, I just paid for them, so.
Okay.
So yes.
I'm assuming there's a luggage rack on this carriage.
So basically, the interior of this carriage is, of course, it has kind of like the inclement weather kind of cover over the top, with about seating for 2 in the very, very back, another seating for 2 in the front, and kind of some room behind the horses where you could stash sort of small things.
Yeah.
Oh, seats too, probably.
What?
Under the seats too.
Yeah, that's possible. Right behind the horses, of course, is basically the driver's seat. Kind of small, but it'll work.
Hey, Kenny, I got you some saddlebags so you can carry stuff.
What's your name?
My name's Gregor, I told you.
Oh, thanks, Gregor.
No problem, Kenny. Aw. I'm just imagining every time after we finish a conversation, he makes the noise.
Is there any? Of course, you guys are like, why the fuck did he just buy the dad bod horse? But well, that's
Are any of us hearing
keeps
any of
grunting at him.
Kenny's line?
no, you're not.
Oh.
You're
hearing
you're
you
seeing
talk.
Gregor talk to this horse as if it was a person.
And then the horse subsequently go.
Yeah. You're
I
beginning
wonder
to
if this
think
horse can
maybe
communicate
Gregor
with other
speaks some
horses.
sort of Fey language with horses.
What's
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
I would expect Graf to speak horse.
Any sort of other items?
Oh my god! Damn! Wow, dude. You went there. Fuck. Alright. Right!
I just
Like,
got it. I just fucking
You
remembered.
got it late, yeah.
Why the long face, baby?
Fuck, man.
Inside joke. All right, moving on.
Yeah.
That's fucking glorious.
So
This guy have
Alright.
does this horse have a dad
Fucking
bod
basic,
like
too
Bojack
basic.
has a dad bod like?
yes.
Okay.
Bojack Horse Dad.
Yeah.
Bojack horse dad? Oh my.
So
I have purchased Bojack Horseman.
I'm assuming you are riding along on the path to get to Nilthorn south.
I think me and Kenny are pulling the cart. Is that what we hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Rapidly
Kenny,
review the driver. You don't have to make any handle animal checks. However, if anybody else drives, they would have to make some sort of check.
Kenny, we're gonna be pulling this cart. We're gonna go visit another town, and it's gonna be super fun.
What are you doing?
What?
What? Don't you talk to your horse?
Are you sure that this recruits dare I say servant is saying? As Giljoy looks for the approval of his everybody that's not Gregor.
What?
What was the question?
You sure he's sane?
Not entirely.
I'm quite sane. Right, Kenny?
That's what an insane person would say.
As you ask your horse. Okay.
Let's go.
Did Kenny reply?
He did not reply. That voice,
Didn't even make
that
his
voice in the back of your mind of Kenny is kind of fading back into obscurity, so it's still very weak. Riding along the pathway as you guys follow the river down, still in sort of this static sunset mixed with purple, blue, along with the warm colors, yellow and orange. I'll give this time for you guys to kind of explain to Cody what has happened thus far.
So, when we entered the Feywilds, we saw a mountain range, a
Alright.
large lake,
Like
actually
a
the biggest
great
lake
lake.
in the Feywild, Lake Rayleigh.
We seen to town. We went to a
Seen?
town. Seen, yes. I like to bother people with that.
Saw.
So we seen to
Alright.
town. We went to town. Went to
The
go asking.
peasants.
We went go asking around the peasants and whatnot to see what they knew about the
Alright.
city of glass. Apparently, none of them knew anything aside from this one barkeep that we found, and
No,
that
it
was
was an
because
old
other
guy
people were
in the bar.
inquiring about it. Directed us to a cartographer, or somebody else did, I believe, actually.
Yeah,
Which
the
is to a
barkeep
town's. The bar.
suggested we go to the cartographer.
Oh
which
yeah,
is
that's
down
right. No,
south.
there was it was the old. I remember him as Old Wizard Dude, so I'm gonna call him Old Wizard Dude. Suggested us of I forget which direction
East.
east to go to another figure who may know about the city of glass.
In Stenwolf?
Yes, and right now we're going south to go to that cartographer to get a map.
So we actually know where we're going.
And so yeah, we just bought a couple of horses. I decided to go get a carriage. I'm not broke, I promise.
So we're trying to find a city, but
We're trying to find the city of glass, and
Which-
to do that,
and we got to get to the cartographer. Alright.
yes, and this
Yeah, we need a map
cartographer
first so we know where to go.
is
And where is the cartographer?
it's directly
South.
south.
Okay.
What was the name of the city?
Nilthorn.
No.
Nilthorn.
Yep.
Nilthorn?
Is where the cartographer is at.
So we're going to Nilthorn to get a map.
Yep.
And we're going to use the map to go east to Stenwolf, where a person who the old wizard dude knows, named Maester Nym, could tell us more about possible. But the last time he talked to him was 15 years ago. So,
Could be
What?
dead.
Okay. Like. Alright.
Also,
That part's weird.
the party has been made aware of entities who are also searching for the city of glass.
who are not part of
Of our
Felix's
company.
people.
Hmm.
Like, they came, like, weeks ago.
There's other adventuring companies that are looking for the shit that we're looking for.
which
Oh, okay.
sucks.
So yeah, now we're off. I'm cozy in my little carriage. I'm a pretty. It's I'll inquire about the specifics of it later, but it's a cheaper carriage though, right?
It's a what?
I mean, I know it's a cheaper option of carriage, but
It's a cheaper option, but it's still like not like the
a decent
shittiest. It's not a
carriage.
cart.
Yeah, it's not a cart.
It's covered,
Covered,
at least.
at least, yeah. Um. So, as you begin to trek across the lands of the Feywild, again, still noting that the sky is in a forever sunset, just still kind of fucking with your sense of time, and what
We're getting planar lag.
yeah, yeah, fucking. Oh shit! What did that? Oh, never mind. Totally unrelated. They mentioned that in Critical Role. Sorry, that reminded me of it. But yeah, you probably have guessed probably a few hours have went by so far. But again, with this sort of day-night cycle,
The non-existent one.
yeah, exactly.
The sun is just in one spot all the time,
So,
and it just adjusts accordingly as you move around the world.
few hours.
Well, in this part of the Feywild, it's different in different parts.
Well, I'm just gonna go with my own worldview, and yeah, screw you.
So a few
Okay.
hours into
If the party is done now.
fucking
If
bickering,
you're done with your jibber jabber, and we'll get on, Garfield.
Garfield.
Felt, you stupid ass kitty cat.
My point exactly.
A few hours into your guys'
Massage.
journey, the soft echoes of 1,000 voices break the teary lines as this sort of foresty silence kind of turns into this low hum of voices. Off to the side, as you begin to stop the horses for a moment, just kind of inquiring curiosity of what may be coming from the forest. A soft kind of aqua blue glow starts to engulf kind of the right side of the forest on the side of you. And like I said, this soft sort of humming, singing voices, kind of high pitched, but definitely beautiful. Peering out, what you see, the aqua blue glow starts to engulf the shadows up to the path line.
Hey, Kenny.
He's not speaking currently. He's kind of perplexed at the glow right
I
now.
know. I'm talking to him.
Okay, yeah.
Have you ever seen something like this before?
And again, he's
I'm going to look at Gregor like he's fucking insane again.
okay. You notice all of your horses. These two horses are kind of perplexed towards the direction of this aqua blue glow, and you begin to feel this sort of emptiness in your body. And but a moment later, you begin to see kind of passing through the trees, around 20,
Detect magic.
20 or 30. Jesus Christ, Rat! Wait.
Let the DM deliver his line.
About 20 or 30 small fairies dance around kind of in different directions. I should say no particular direction, but they're all kind of moving one way, if that makes sense. They're kind of bouncing around. Singing in a soft kind of chorus in a language unknown to you. Raptor, as you begin to conjure the detect magic spell, immediately, just all kinds of flares in your mind just bursting. The Feywild is one of the most magical realms. So in this sense, detecting magic is almost a moot.
So what you're telling us here is that the place is covered in magic mushrooms, but not just mushrooms, but like everything else.
Pretty much,
Everything is glowing.
yes.
Everything is magic.
And it could
basically.
potentially get you high. I hope.
As
Or maybe kill you.
as you see these fairies kind of bounce around, none of them really particularly are acknowledging you, but about 20 seconds or so later, you see this form appear up from behind a tree in the form of an elven male, blonde hair, kind of tied in the back, and immediately the first sight you see of him is with a drawn bow directly at you.
I waved to him. Hello.
A drawn bow aimed at us.
aimed at you. He begins to speak in a language. Se la go mortesilida.
Hey,
I
One
get
second.
I get us to I try to stop my horse in the carriage.
I know Elven
Or I
if that
guess
helps, but
Stop both of
This
us.
is not any language that
I
You
might
are
know
familiar
Sylvan.
this is not any language that
Oh.
you guys are recognizing.
You motherfuckers need like tongues or something. The spell.
With the drawn bro as he speaks, none of you are drawing weapons, right? Or
Gildroy kind of peeks out of the cart and just yells in Elven, excuse me,
That's
can I
it.
help
He
you?
just yells,
In Elven.
he looks at you,
What did he turn
Gildroy.
into Kenny?
He looks at you, Gildroy. The horse is still perplexed by this individual. He slowly brings the bow down and brings the arrow back. Or sorry, forward.
he aims the bow at the ground but draws the bow.
He begins to turn and keep walking. Obviously, seeing that you guys are not a threat. And he only takes but 6 or 7 steps as he disintegrates into this aqua blue glow.
Interesting.
That was weird.
Dude, he's like a wisp.
If I was playing a comic relief character, oh my.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Nick?
A will-o-wisp?
Yes.
He's kind of, yeah, it almost reminds me of like, it's kind of weird to say, but like World of Warcraft, like the Night Elves, like you become a wisp or
Yeah.
whatever when you die. Yeah. He's kind of got like that thing going on, like a blue aura. Yeah,
Okay,
weird
I-
fucking
I
guy.
can-
Yeah.
I can continue trucking
I
on.
suppose we're carrying on.
And
We're going
the aqua
on,
blue
yeah.
kind of fades into the forest line as the soft hum and singing chorus kind of slowly dies down as you make your way down the path further. I'd say it probably takes you guys a few hours to come upon the outskirts of Nilthorn. Still perplexed in the sunset, you guys come upon a not so bustling village, but more so kind of things happening here and there. Its layout is much like the same as Essence, so the same sort of architecture and style. It really hasn't changed this far south. People, much like the same. There's still some fake creatures that you see. Mostly elven. You haven't really come across a human yet, but definitely more of the same. You had previously been told about a cartographer at the southeastern portion of the town, I believe, by a library.
In the library.
By the library, on just outside the library. But yeah, I'm guessing it's probably the first place you guys go.
To the
Cartographer,
library.
Yes.
Is Aurelia ever gonna be alive again in this party?
She's there with you guys currently.
I mean, I'm just
Is
saying. out of
currently a wisp.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have to talk to Alex. I'm not really
like
sure.
Alex, yeah.
It's something I'll have to go over with Alex. But for now, we'll keep her around and
Cause so we still have an elf then, with us.
yeah.
That might be helpful.
Walking amongst the city, you guys are immediately noticing that instead of being greeted with just a glance or just a look, you are greeted with dirty looks.
Dirty look.
Yeah, once Raptor is done fucking rubbing his laptop on his crotch.
With this noise?
No.
Uh,
Yes, that noise.
yeah, stop. Fucking
Yeah,
knock
stop.
it off.
It's loud.
Shoot, go away.
It is loud and it makes me feel unsafe.
Good.
Venturing, like I said, towards the southeastern part of the town, these dirty looks are no more than just dirty looks. Nobody's really kind of making any sort of gestures or moves on you guys, but
So nobody's reaching for yeah,
Weapons?
No.
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 No. But like before, you guys are definitely not from the Feywild, and it shows. Takes you about a few minutes to walk to the southeastern part where the library is, and just outside the library is a couple of male human individuals kind of taking on the hobby of freeform painting. You see a canvas in front of this individual, about middle-aged, dark hair, painting a church-like cathedral structure, probably about 200 feet away, in front of this individual. So he's sitting there painting it as best as he can. And from what you can see, it's fairly good. This man would definitely know his way around a map if he had to make one. And these are the only people. Like, this isn't bustling. Like, these people are just kind of hanging out, painting.
Okay. Who's?
Did he give us a name?
He did not give you a name.
Excuse me. We're looking for a cartographer.
Oh, that's speaking. Yes. How may I help you?
We were wondering if we could get a map
Oh my god.
of the area.
Business has been booming. I've sold like 3 or 4 of these in the past, I don't know, week and a half. I don't... Yes, I may have another one on hand. Let me go check. I've been pumping these out like nightly, essentially. As he kind of searches through his bag, pulls out a fairly recent, sort of marked on piece of parchment, fairly large, enough to be a map. Very detailed. Pulls it out. It's kind of like wrinkled up, and as he kind of spreads it out so you guys can look at it, he goes, "Here, this is. I just did this last night. I guess. How much would you like for it, or how much were you willing to pay?"
10 gold.
10 gold. I couldn't steal from you, sir. If you ask me, I take 5 gold for it.
I hand the man 10 gold.
Oh. You, sir,
I wonder how fast Raptor's gonna run out of money.
are a gentleman. Is there anything else I can help you with? You guys don't look like you're from around here. It's not the first time, but please
Do you
say
know
it.
what the best path would be from here to Stenwolf?
Stenwolf. What brings you to the town of Stenwolf?
We're looking for a person that we're supposed to meet there.
As he kind of draws back and takes a deep breath. There's not very many people left in Stenwolf after... Here. He pulls out the map.
Hold on. What happened at Stenwolf?
Yeah.
It was a long time ago when I was a child. It's I haven't been there in some years, and they're just stories. I forget. You guys are new here. There were some issues in Stenwolf, and depending on who you ask now, there's variations of the story. But it's not dangerous. I just was curious about your adventures to Stenwolf because not very many people go there anymore. But if you follow the path down, and then if you take east to Del Riven, up north, across the mountains, towards the western part of Cliffordshire, and then down to Toma, across the river, you're met with Stenwolf. Or you could just take a direct path there, and that would be on your own accord.
Or you could just take the river.
We
If
have
you could-
horses.
If you could procure a
have 2
boat, I
horses.
suppose you could take the river, but it doesn't look like you have a boat with you.
Nah, it's in my backpack.
Folding boat.
Inflatable fucking tube. Yeah.
A folding
Get
boat
on
is a
there,
real-
horse.
Carriage on
That
there as
ass.
well.
A folding boat is a real item.
Just jumps on and sinks down the river.
It just immediately drowns.
No, Kenny!
Fuck.
No!
DM's woe times 50.
You guys can see the map, right? We're good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I can see the
Okay,
path that we
yeah,
can
that-
take.
I say we do the go.
About how long do you think it'll take?
Do you think we should cut through forests, or do you think we should just like go on?
I
The...
think
I
I believe we
Bad
should stick
idea.
to the road.
yeah, stick to the roads.
A
Roads.
lot less trouble that way. We don't know where
need
we're
horses
at.
with broken legs, right, Kenny?
Some part of me is just imagining this is actually like, you know, a mismade
Do
map.
they see him nod his head?
Yes. So, your current route is
Basically, go south, then go east to Delriven, go north.
I did ask him how long you think it would take.
yeah. So he kind of looks over the map. Well, I'm assuming if you have some sort of transportation,
Horses and a carriage.
you have horses in a carriage. The Feywild can be a very dangerous place. You go the path that I told you to go. You should be there in a week and a half, 2 weeks. Should any sort of obstacle be in your way, could take you upwards of 3 to 3.5, but it just all depends on the natures of the Feywild. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I can help with, please?
Do you know if there's anything we should particularly watch out for?
Well, I would say if you were going to go through the forest, and which would cut down your time significantly, creatures in the Feywild are kind of known for their trickery. So it wouldn't be uncommon to fall trap into a druid's illusions.
Actually, speaking of that, we encountered quite a strange sight on our way here.
Yeah, that will happen a lot.
Are you familiar with like a blue glow and a strange elf?
Blue. Oh, and a strange.
Many fairies as well.
How many of them were there?
How many did I see?
Like I said, you saw about 20 to 30.
20 to 30.
Were they singing?
Yes.
Aurelius, yes. Or Marcus, sorry, Marcus now.
He's just trying
It's
to procure more information.
Still
'cause-
my first name.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I just want to
Um,
call you Marcus Aurelius.
Also, when
Yeah,
the
Marcus
elf
Aurelius.
appeared, he spoke a tongue that I couldn't understand.
Yeah. Where are you from?
The prime material.
Of course. Very obviously, but things here are going to speak languages that you don't understand. It's the nature of the Feywild. You go to any realm and that will happen. As for the fairies, the extent of my knowledge of the Bavarian fairies is small fey creatures that really only are seen when they want to be seen. This half-elven, or this elven individual, correct?
Yeah, they also disappeared and turned into a blue glow.
They were giving pass to his spirit. he had either just died or had recently died. And that was them guiding him to the afterlife.
Did I mention that he aimed a bow and
Well, yes, if you disturb the, I guess you could call it ritual, there's no guaranteed chance that they move out to the afterlife peacefully. He'll do whatever he can to defend himself in this life and the afterlife, I suppose.
So we're not messing with the fairy. Got it.
It's bad luck if you do. And I've never been a conjurer of anything of that sorts.
Duly noted.
Well,
Thank you.
well, welcome to the town of Milthorn. You guys do seem pretty new, and well, if you need anything else, just come see me. There's
By the way, what's your name?
my name is Travis. Travis
Thank you,
Neganwood.
Travis.
It's at this point that the DM should start reading.
Yeah.
Uh,
God damn it.
Is there anything else you guys think we should get before we head out?
If we got plenty of food and drink, then yeah, I think we're fine.
should probably
I don't know what we would really need.
finish up our ride to Del Riven and then take a rest there, and then take probably a day's worth of riding. Oh, not days worth of riding. Fucking.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, we have the tracking ring too. If someone gets lost.
As you guys are
Right.
kind of, yeah, you do. It's attuned to you though, Cody.
Mhm.
As you guys are kind of like talking amongst yourselves, the human individual speaks up for about a moment. He says, "I do you know the orc that came through here recently? There's been several prime material planers that come through here. There was an orc here. He was here, but just a few hours ago. You happen to know him or not?"
Maybe. What was his name?
I didn't get his name. He bought a map from me and was on his way, heavily armed. I can't say for sure if he showed any
Did
harmful intent or not.
did he say where he is heading?
Just said he was heading east.
Well, we're probably on the right track then.
Yeah.
Well, let me gather my things. This painting should be about done here in just about another hour and a half. If, like I said, if you need anything, I'll be right here.
We'll let you know. Thank you.
So, map in hand. So you guys are taking the path down to Del Riven and then up and through, then down to Toma, and then Stenwolf, correct?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me make a quick note. So, stepping out, gathering your things again, for the long journey ahead. Just as you're about to leave Nilthorn, a crack of thunder pierces the sky with a flash of lightning, and eventually, in a few seconds, it does start to gently drizzle, which turns into a small pour Good thing you guys have cover on this.
Yeah.
But making your journey down to Del Riven, it's probably going to be about could be probably an hour or two before you guys start to get fairly tired. Is there any particular place you would like to stop and rest, or you just kind of how far, I should say, do you guys want to get before you eventually want to take rest? I should say, yeah.
I would prefer to
Crossroads.
get crossroads.
Crossroads would probably be a few hours. You guys can make it to the crossroads if you'd like, and set up camp there.
Yeah.
It gives you 2 ways to run.
This is true. I mean, you can run in any direction, honestly.
Well, obviously, slightly off the road.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm saying it gives you like 2 roads to go down.
Okay. So you make
Two roads
note.
diverge to Yellow Wood.
You make note to stop at the crossroads several miles ahead. However, about another probably 30-45 minutes into your ride, you hear the sounds of voices off in the distance in the forest. And from what you can make out, a small glowing orange light coming from a campfire. Everybody roll a whatever the perception is for fucking 3.5e. I always forget it. Spot check, yes.
Alright.
Also, if you hear a scratching sound, Gretchen is rubbing her face against my computer.
Dude, this is what I always forget to fucking do when leveling, is skills.
Oof.
I still gotta do skills for 2 levels. I forgot.
Big oof.
Don't forget to add me to editing, Cody. I had messaged you, but I don't know if you did it yet.
Alright, oh well.
Edit your class on Google or whatever.
Oh my.
Oof. All right.
We're doing pretty terrible. for
Gildroy.
those boys.
Well, Gildroy. Yeah, you guys are rolling fucking terribly, but Gildroy, as you peer out, you can very clearly see what appears to be 2 elven individuals and 2 male individuals, sharing some, what looks like some sort of small animal on the campfire, just eating, talking amongst themselves, not particularly noticing you. You guys are somewhat far away and have only just noticed them because of the campfire, and the rain is sort of masking your noises, but they're just talking amongst themselves currently.
I see a group of 4 off in the distance. By that light.
And now what you guys can see is a few individuals kind of laughing amongst themselves fairly loudly over the rain as it pours down around you.
Do they appear to be armed?
What did you roll?
Not.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 25 total.
Oh yeah, you rolled a 25. Gregor, from what you can see, you don't see any particular arms.
No, I was asking Gildroy.
Okay. Gildroy, you do see a couple bows and some swords. However, they're kind
Are they on their person or off to the side?
one person does have a sword on them, but the others are kind of off to the side as they eat.
They do have weaponry, but only one of them is armed currently with a sword.
Okay.
I care not to make contact with them. Probably best if we just
I didn't even do the little thing.
stay away.
Leave them be. No need
for unnecessary company.
or including ourselves in their business.
So you choose to keep on going?
I would say, yeah.
Yes.
Nick?
Yep.
I agree.
Okay. Passing on by, thankfully they don't pay you any attention as like I said, the rain is somewhat masking your guys' movement. Coming to probably about another few miles down the road to the crossroads. I wouldn't even say a few miles, probably like another 45-minute ride to the crossroads. You come to what is essentially kind of a beat up, fairly old post in the ground. You know, kind of the traditional
Signpost.
Del Ribbon this way, Ashland that way. You see a small thicket, kind of. So from where the road goes, directly in front of you, where a small place would be to make camp. You can choose to make camp closer to the road, or you can choose to make camp kind of closer to the, or further into the forest. But it's
A little bit further in the forest. Like,
Yeah, for real. I don't want to do it right on the road. Just like set up tent and shit.
um.
I'm gonna send you a message real quick as well, Ryan. Yeah, question. Not question, but more of an action.
So setting up. You guys still have your
Is it still like daytime?
sunset.
Like it hasn't
Never.
changed? Oh, it is sunset. Okay.
the sun never sets.
Never
It's-
sets
it's-
completely. It's always
It's,
setting.
it's at
but
dusk, so it's like it's not completely dark out, but it's not completely light out. You know.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do I know what this area of the Feywild is called?
This area of the Feywild.
Yeah, where the sun doesn't set. Does that have a specific name?
This, from what you know, is the known Feywild.
Does it? No, but is it? I mean, is it like this everywhere? But I know it's different other places.
Make a
right?
knowledge planes check. So the Feywild itself, what you're seeing is the map of the known Feywild. The Feywild can either be infinite or finite. You're not quite sure, but what you are quite sure is that there is a population in this area. A lot of stories don't make it back from other parts, such as the south, the west, and the north. There are much of it is unexplored land. So you wouldn't quite know if it was like this in the entire Feywild, or if some parts maybe being completely dark. Or
I meant like the parts we would be going through. Is it? Does the sun never set? Like generally everywhere.
oh, in this part of the Feywild, yes, it is always at sunset.
Okay, that's what I was mostly asking. Like,
Okay.
if is there an area where we would be going on our travels where it would eventually set, or would it just always be like?
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it's pretty much always sunset.
Okay.
At least in your experience. You like I okay, so tents, right? So,
Yeah, we have a 6-man.
the carriage can probably fit you, Gregor. But there's not really much else room for laying down if you like to take the carriage. But didn't you guys buy a 6-man tent?
I have a 6-man tent.
Yeah.
I just bought my own tent.
We have a 6-man tent.
yeah, we do have a 6-man tent.
I'm gonna set up my own tent.
All right. Aurelius.
I'm gonna be in the 6-man tent.
I'll set it up for others, and I'll sleep in the carriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll also untie and tie him up near some grass.
Jesus
I know, right?
Christ.
I understand what you're saying, Raptor, but holy fuck. You're getting like 2 kilobytes a second.
I can't help it.
Fucking land connection, bitch. Anyways.
Fuck that.
So he ties up Kenny in a more comfortable area. Aurelius, you set up your own tent. And Gilderoy, it probably takes you guys...
I my horse off somewhere somewhere nearby, so he's not afraid, but I don't want him running off.
Of course. And it takes you guys probably about 20 to 25 minutes to set up that tent. However, once you got everything going, you guys just want to head straight to bed and then kind of pick it up in the morning. Or is
How tired am I? Like,
you're pretty fucking tired. Like it's how you would feel on a late night.
then yeah, it's probably time.
Yeah, bedtime.
As you all drift off to bed under the guise of the rain pouring around you, kind of helps you drift off to sleep. Gregor, you're in the carriage. Aurelius in your own tent, and everybody else is in a 6-man tent.
Yeah.
Several hours go by
Need to update my shit.
in the dusk. Gregor.
We probably should have set up guard details.
Phew.
but- Yeah, we didn't think about that.
Anybody have the spell alarm?
Nope.
Nope.
You guys aren't really much. You guys
There
aren't really
you go.
spellcasters. Except maybe Gregor.
I mean, I am, but I didn't think of taking it up until now.
Um.
So I have it in my scrolls, but I do not.
So Gregor,
Yes.
for some reason, you're having a difficult time going to bed. Not quite sure if others are experiencing this. However, it does take you a while to kind of drift off into a deep sleep.
If
Everybody
I am having trouble
Yeah.
sleeping, I'll probably just sit on the edge of the cart for a little while and just like look out
cast-
into the nature.
I cast sleep on myself.
Okay.
I cast temporary coma.
Eventually, even you, Gregor, begin to fall into a sleep.
Yeah, I was just doing it to relax. I was just looking like just help myself relax, calm down.
Now I would like everybody to make a Constitution save.
Okay.
That's not
I'm
nice.
good at that.
A Constitution save.
Yes.
Okay.
Show 4.
Yeah, just fortitude.
Hey.
Hey.
No.
Oh.
Oh no.
Guild throw.
Now, I would like
Guys, I got a little body.
now
Droid does not wake up.
I would like everybody to make a listen check.
Blistain.
At least
Stein. I'm updating the class, Ryan.
I might hear shit.
Oh my.
Where's my skills?
Where they are.
Where they?
Hey!
Where the fuck they are? Something like that. Where the fuck I am? There's listen, Jesus. There's like 40 fucking skills. Like
It's
too
like
many.
almost all the way at the bottom. It's after knowledge.
Yep, I already rolled.
I'm assuming all of us knows jack shit.
Aurelius, softly asleep, Gildroy, dreaming of whatever the fuck happened in your backstory that I still haven't read.
Yes.
Elwyn, doing the best you can to lie in that deep sleep. Gregor, as you drifted off inside of the carriage, you're slightly awoken by a crunch in the underbrush. Immediately, as you wake up, you don't really think anything of it initially because you're still kind of surprised by being awake. And in a-
At least sit up.
And as you begin to sit up, darkness. As something has been thrust over your head, and now you feel this sort of warm palm against your mouth. And a voice behind you. Speak, and I shall slit your throat.
I nod my head.
And I will go ahead and end session there as kind of like a short session, because
Okay.
I have to get up fairly early, and it's gonna be a long day tomorrow for me at work, and it's already 11:30 here. But yeah, so gonna end it on
Cool.
a slight cliffhanger. Man,
Hashtag ambush.
hashtag ambush.